Coming up on Chapman News, a hostage standoff at a home last night in Whittier forces SWAT teams to respond. We have a live report with the latest.
Plus, 2 men believed to be responsible for multiple deaths are now behind bars. We'll explain how police want your help in finding more victims of this serial killing spree.
And everyone's favorite member of Anaheim Police is making a speedy recovery after a brush with death. See how this four-legged hero is changing the game for other dogs in the line of duty. Chapman News starts right now.
Hello and welcome to Chapman News. I'm Monica Petruzzelli.
And I'm Melissa Cano. It's Friday, Good Friday, April 18th. Hope your holiday weekend is off to a good start. About 100 residents were evacuated from their homes last night in Whittier after a man barricaded himself and held a woman hostage for 12 hours. Maritza Viella is live at the scene with an update. Maritza?
The standoff ended earlier this morning at 4:22 to be exact, after the man peacefully surrendered and was taken into custody. The hostage was taken into the hospital for minor cuts on her face. The incident began yesterday around 4 p.m. when the police received several phone calls about a man and a woman fighting in an apartment building. Police say when they arrived, the man barricaded himself and the women. And neighbors say they heard him yelling that he was going to kill her. That is when the LA Sheriff's Department SWAT team was called in, leading to the 12-hour standoff. Police evacuated more than 100 residents to the local senior center and shut down a 3-block area surrounding the building. Officer Brad White spoke to Chapman News about the incident.
When officers arrived on scene, they observed windows being broken out of an apartment. That apartment was told that there's male and female inside, and that the male possibly could possess a knife or potentially a gun. We have a crisis negotiator talking to the subject, and that's where we are at this time.
Authorities have not yet released the name of the suspect or the motive behind the standoff, but they did say that the suspect was armed with a handgun. Reporting live from Whittier, I'm Maritza Viella. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Maritza. Police have not yet released the relationship between the man and the victim.
Police are now looking for a 5th victim in a serial murder investigation after 2 suspects were arrested last week. Diane Gerstenfeld has more on the county's search, an investigation that has now been going on since October.
We are confident there is one additional victim, and possibly more.
Monique Vargas, Kiana Jackson, and Martha Anaya of Santa Ana have been missing for more than 5 months. Now their families have learned that police believe 2 suspects are responsible for their deaths. Those suspects are Frank Cano, age 27, and Stephen Gordon, age 45, both registered sex offenders. But without bodies, Anaya's mother still hopes that Martha is still out there somewhere.
Yo quiero ver un body, un cuerpo, para decir, mi hija está muerta.
It wasn't until Jeray Nicole Estep's body was found lying at a recycling plant in Anaheim that authorities were able to put the cases together.
Our break in the case came as a result of the homicide here in the city of Anaheim, and that's when we were able to get together with the Anaheim detectives and collaborate and make some very quick progress on this case.
Police used GPS monitors and cell phone records to pinpoint the suspect's whereabouts, but it hasn't yet led them to further bodies. Authorities say all 3 women frequented an area in Santa Ana notorious for drugs and prostitution. Anaya's mother believes there is a lot of trouble in the city and thinks there are even more victims.
Hay muchas muchachas perdidas. Solo estamos reportando a 3, pero hay muchas.
Both suspects are charged with 4 counts of special circumstances rape and murder. The DA's office said they could face the death penalty or life without the possibility of parole. Reporting in Anaheim, I'm Diane Gerstenfeld, Chapman News.
The latest known victim was last seen on Valentine's Day near Catella Avenue and either Orangewood or Beach Boulevard. She is in her early 20s, has a petite build, brown hair, and tattoos. Anyone with information is urged to call Orange County Crime Stoppers.
A man who was found beaten, bound by the hands, and burned on the 605 freeway in the City of Industry died Wednesday morning due to his injuries. CHP began receiving phone calls about the man at 2 p.m. Tuesday. He was found near the northbound 605 connector to the westbound 60 freeway with his hands and feet partially tied up and burns covering his entire face and body. Detectives believe that the victim was beaten in a wash under the freeway, but then managed to crawl up an embankment and through a tunnel to get onto the freeway. There are no suspects at this time. The identity of the victim is still unknown. Anyone with information is encouraged to contact LA County Sheriff's Department.
10 people are dead after a collision involving a FedEx truck and a bus carrying high school students. Authorities say the FedEx truck was heading southbound when it crossed the center divider and crashed head-on into the bus. The crash happened after 5:30 p.m. on Thursday near Orland, a city just north of Sacramento. Officials say the students on the bus were headed to Humboldt State University for the school's spring preview day. The National Transportation Safety Board said in a statement Sunday that investigators are still trying to figure out what caused the crash.
We're going to go over that driver's last 72 hours at least, and we're going to be looking at when they were at work, when rest took place, the cell phone use. Why is that important? Because in this case, we don't have somebody to interview.
Most of the students that were killed in the accident were from the Los Angeles area. One of the victims was 18-year-old Adrian Castro, who attended El Monte High School. On Monday evening, students and faculty members held a vigil to celebrate his life. The last victim was recently identified. FedEx bus driver Tim Evans was a husband and father of 2.
This week marked the first anniversary of the Boston bombings that killed 3 and injured more than 250 last year. The ceremonies kicked off on Tuesday with a tribute to the victims, survivors, and city supporters. More than 30,000 runners plan to participate in the marathon this coming Monday. This year, runners will find at least 100 security cameras, more than 25,000 police officers both in and out of uniform, bomb-sniffing dogs, and more barriers separating runners from spectators. With authorities taking all safety measures, runners say the spirit of the race looks to be even stronger this year.
There's still this spirit of endurance that goes with marathon running, and it's not just the runner, it's the family. And that was the saddest part about that, is that it was the families and those supporting the runners that really received a brunt of the harm and impact.
The surviving bombing suspect, Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, currently remains in custody, possibly facing the death penalty. His trial is set to begin in November.
Orange County home prices took a big leap in March, and they just might keep hopping. DataQuick Information Systems reported that homes fetched their highest median price in 6 years, crossing the $500,000 mark. That median price, just over $500,000, is twice the level of just 4 years ago, and the last 12 months marked the best year for home sellers since 2004. Analysts cite an improving economy, still low mortgage rates, and population growth for the surge in OC home values. And although buyers...
There is a lot of business now that has come in as a result, I think, too, a lot in Chapman, growing so fast, students there. So the more the demand, the more the housing costs will increase.
And although buyers may worry about the upward prices, interest rates on home loans are at a record low of around 3.5% for qualifying prospective homeowners. Coming up, 2 April deadlines passed this Tuesday. We'll tell you how they affect Californians in the upcoming months.
Plus, we have the Newport Beach Film Festival's Director of Programming in the studio to fill us in on what to expect for its 15th anniversary next weekend.
We've got information on the rare blood moon, as well as a close look into the Easter Sunday weather. Stay with us. You're watching Chapman News, Orange County's news leader.
Yeah, I'm out at Brooklyn. Now I'm down in Tribeca, right next to De Niro. But I'll be hood forever. I'm the new Sinatra. And since I made it here, I can make it anywhere. Yeah, they love me everywhere. I used to cop in Harlem. All of my Dominicanos right there up on Broadway. Brought me back to that McDonald's. Took it to my stash spot, 560 State Street. Catch me in the kitchen like a Simmons whipping pastry. Cruising down A Street, off-white Lexus. Driving so slow, but BK is from Texas. Me, I'm out that Bed-Stuy, home of that boy Biggie. Now I live on Billboard, and I brought my boys with me. Say what up to Tata, still sipping my ties. Sitting courtside, Knicks and Nets give me high five. I be spiked out, I could trip.
I'm Harry Smith.
I'm Michael Sear. Name's John Duber.
My name is Anthony Filiacci.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
You're watching.
And you're watching Chapman News.
Welcome back to Chapman News. Bruno, the police dog who was shot in the line of duty last month, has been receiving tens of thousands of well wishes as he continues his recovery. Leandro Romero takes a look at what it takes to make a hero like Bruno.
Bruno did his job and probably saved the lives of quite a few people as a result.
Bruno the police dog continues his road to recovery after he was shot in the jaw last month during a pursuit for an armed suspect. The 7-year-old German Shepherd saved the lives of 3 officers and has become Anaheim's new hometown hero. As his rehabilitation unfolds, most are wondering what goes into training these 4-legged heroes. Andy Falco, former canine handler for the Anaheim Police and now a professional canine trainer, told us police dogs like Bruno are not easy to find.
A little bit less than 1% of the entire dog population. It is very difficult for a dog to become a police dog. I travel all over the world just looking for 1 or 2 dogs.
During a pursuit, canines are used as a buffer between the officer and the suspect.
And so when you have the police dog there, most people don't run, most people don't fight. And so just having the dog present is going to get that person under control.
But if intimidation isn't enough for the suspect to surrender, action will be taken. After a long day at work, the most rewarding part of the day is being next to your best friend. For Bruno and Officer RJ, they will continue their time together once Bruno is released from the hospital. Leandro Romero, Chapman News.
Anaheim PD tells us Bruno will retire once he's released from Yorba Linda Regional Animal Hospital.
So Melissa, did you get a chance to see the blood moon on Monday night?
I actually did. I got a chance to see it. Did you?
No, I didn't, but I know Megan has more information on it for us. Megan?
Absolutely, guys. It was a beautiful lunar eclipse that happened. It's called the rare blood moon. It's the first eclipse in more than 3 years uninterrupted by sunrise. It happens when the light from all over the world, sunrises and sunsets, were bent into the moon, which is otherwise hidden by the Earth's shadow. This should happen 4 times during the year, and the next one, in case you missed this one, is on October 8th. Thanks to our TV studio engineer, Dave Goodhart, we have this beautiful picture that he took, crystal clear. Thanks for taking it and sending it to us. Now, moving on to the southwest temperatures from nighttime to daytime right now. We have, starting in Phoenix with 73, and moving westbound into LA, we have 62 degrees, and heading on up to Fresno with 62 degrees as well, keeping it nice and warm for us in Southern California. And although it's nice and warm, you might be tempted to go to the beach, but the waves are going to be a little bit bigger just because of a 7.2 earthquake that happened today near Acapulco, Mexico. And no reports of major damage so far, but we'll keep you updated just so you can know. As well as last week, we talked about the pollen in California being really high and causing allergies for people all over. It was kind of rough. It was very high levels of pollen due to grass, trees, flowers, weeds, you name it. And there were a couple hot spots lately for pollen, and that includes such places as Colorado, Idaho, Ohio, Iowa as well. And a rule of thumb that I would say for knowing when pollen is going to be the worst are the 3 H's, when it's hot, humid, or hazy. So just keep a heads up as we head into the summertime where it gets a little bit hotter. Now moving on to the 5-day forecast. We have the weather coming up today is going to be 72 degrees, sunny with a little bit of cloud coverage. Moving on to Saturday with 75 degrees. And Easter Sunday is going to be a great 82 degrees, high for the weekend. And Monday with 82 and Tuesday with 72. The lows for the night are going to be in the 50s, keeping it nice and cool. Nothing too crazy. You might want to grab a little sweatshirt to bring with you if you go out in the evening. And Easter time is going to be a great time with 82 degrees high and 57 degree low. I definitely want to get outside for that day, do some Easter egg hunting for little kids and everything. So for families in the Orange community, definitely get out there, enjoy the weather, and have a good time. And yeah, heading back to you, Melissa, and enjoy your weekend.
Thanks, Megan. The deadline to submit tax returns has passed. At the beginning of the week, the IRS received roughly 75% of expected tax returns. That's up 1% from last year's average. This Tuesday sent last-minute filers into a frenzy as they rushed to meet the April 15th deadline.
I gave my W-9 to my parents to file for me, and they forgot. So I'm now here at the 11th hour turning in my taxes.
I actually did it yesterday, I can't lie.
Post offices and tax professionals extended their hours in order to prepare for the evening rush of tax filers, but many people decided to go digital this year. Residents who missed the April 15th deadline are advised to act quickly before IRS penalties start to add up. There are failure to file, failure to pay, and interest fees that can add up to 25% of your unpaid tax bills. But if you're due for a refund, there is no penalty for filing late. People are encouraged to file for the 6-month extension as soon as possible. And taxes were not the only deadline Californians raced to meet this Tuesday. The opportunity to buy coverage under the Affordable Care Act was extended to April 15th. For those that did not sign up for health insurance in time, look to pay a tax penalty next year. The fee for not having health coverage is up to $285 per family per month. The next open enrollment period will be this November, but will not go into effect until 2015. Challenges aside, over 8 million Americans registered for Obamacare, exceeding expectations.
Every year, Orange County gets a taste of Hollywood during the Newport Beach Film Festival.
The festival is celebrating its 15th year under the influence, which is this year's theme. We're joined by the festival's director of programming, as well as Chapman alum Max Naylor. Max, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, absolutely.
So congratulations on this being the 15th year. What do you feel is going to be different about this milestone year?
The one thing that we focus on every year is that we try really hard to kind of bring our festival a little bit tighter, make it a little bit smaller, and we fail miserably every year, so we keep growing and growing. We're at 17 different venues this year, so we've expanded that footprint. We have 400 films in the festival. We meant to have 300. Oops. Yeah, we just keep getting bigger and bigger every year, and it's because more and more people in the county come out and support the festival.
It sounds like the film festival has really expanded, and I know that it brings in a lot of big names. How has this affected the local economy?
It helps a lot. I mean, obviously, the city of Newport Beach looks at us as this boon for them, so we're happy to work with them. They're our founding sponsor, so as long as they're happy with us, we're happy. There's tons of things that can be done every time that we have a festival where we can bring these people out. It brings more people into the local economy. We partner with a lot of different businesses that are happy to have this kind of influx of customers and participants. It's helpful to the whole city, we hope.
And for first-time festival goers, how would you tell them to tackle this event?
That's a tricky one. If you've never been to a film festival before, you can go to our website, newportbeachfilmfest.com. There's a whole section on there, How to Fest, where you can it'll familiarize you with the idea of that. If not that, come check out the ticket sales. You can go into our website, you can buy tickets, you can look at the different films, and just pick a movie that you think sounds interesting to you, buy a ticket, just like going to any other film, except that it's a little better. You have people come out and you can talk to them about the movie. It's a neat experience.
So as director of programming, what do you look for in a film to make it successful?
I like the good ones, personally. I get asked that question a lot. It's a tricky question to answer. Personally, I mean, we have a huge team in the Newport Beach Film Festival, and I'm really grateful for that because if it was just up to me, I like darker films, I like more challenging films, and that's not what the entire population of Orange County enjoys. So luckily, I have a lot of people who work with me who are able to tell me, no, we should probably have this great romantic comedy in the festival. Our opening night film is Lovesick this year, and it's a great romantic comedy with Matt LeBlanc and Chevy Chase, and I mean, it's not the kind of film that I would necessarily go for. I go for darker films, but luckily we have all these people who support each other and they're able to kind of help us inform our decision.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Max. The Newport Beach Film Festival is April 24th through May 1st. Tickets are still available to purchase online at newportbeachfilmfest.com. Coming up, we take a look into Universal Studios' newest addition to the park.
But first, Renee Willis has the latest in Chapman sports as teams are looking to lock up playoff spots. Renee?
The Chapman golf team hoping to shoot low scores against Cal Lutheran to seed for nationals. Plus, women's lacrosse looking to win one at home against the Redland Bulldogs. We got all the highlights next on the Best Campus Sports Show.
Yeah, I'm out at Brooklyn. Now I'm down in Tribeca, right next to De Niro. But I'll be hood forever. I'm the new Sinatra. And since I made it here, I can make it anywhere. Yeah, they love me everywhere. I used to cop in Harlem. All of my Dominicanos right there up on Broadway. Pulled me back to that McDonald's. Took it to my stash spot, 560 State Street. Catch me in the kitchen like a Simmons whipping pastry. Cruising down A Street, off-white Lexus. Driving so slow, but BK is from Texas. Me, I'm out that Bed-Stuy, home of that boy Biggie. Now I live on Billboard, and I brought my boys with me. Say what up to Tata, still sipping my ties. Sitting courtside, Knicks and Nets give me high five. I be spiked out, I could trip.
I'm Harry Smith.
I'm Michael Sears. Name's John Duber.
My name is Anthony Filiacci.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
You're watching.
And you're watching Chapman News.
Welcome back. With the end of the season approaching for Chapman Athletics, teams have been fighting for the playoff berth and winning seasons. It has been an exciting week in Chapman sports. I'm Renee Willis, and this is the Best Campus Sports Show. We begin on the course where the Chapman golf team was hosting number 15th ranked Cal Lutheran on Wednesday. But the team had bigger hopes than just defeating the Kingsmen. The Panthers also trying to play well so they can get a bid for nationals. Let's head to the course. The Panthers were ranked 29th in the nation coming into the match, and they had the advantage as they were playing at their home course, Tustin Ranch Golf Club. We go to par 3 third. Senior Josh Hurts hits one to about 15 feet, and then he drains it in for a putt. Then over to the par 7th, our own junior Kent Paisley hits his third shot from the greenside bunker to 6 feet. Then he rolls it in just to save par. Look at this shot. Paisley had just 13 putts on the front 9, leading to a 78. Over to the 8th. With a wedge in his hand after a big drive, Paisley sticks one tight to about 12 feet. Look at that thing fly. Uphill birdie. To an uphill birdie putt, and then he gets it just to go in. Look at that, and he is pumped. Chapman will go on to win this one 306 to 333. And after the match, the team seemed very optimistic about their future.
We're up and coming. This is the real deal, right? You got a golf pro running the program, and I'm familiar with good players. I'm familiar with pros and how to maintain and upkeep our level of play. And we're not going to be complacent. We're going to try to move forward.
So I tell these guys every day just to grind, work as hard as they can, and never give up on themselves. And that's what we do. That's what we're all about.
It's been a tough season for the women's lacrosse team, and coming into Wednesday night, they had lost the previous 2 games, both which were on the road, but this game was at home against the Redland Bulldogs. And in the second to last home game of the season, the team was looking to finish the year on a high note. Let's head to Wilson Field. Redlands looking to answer back after an early goal from Chapman's Brooke Martini, but the shot would be stopped by Cara Podesta. A penalty shot here by Martini would make the game 6-5. Chapman would take this lead into halftime, where it would quickly vanish. A perfect pass here from Redlands' Allie Hoffler would set up the easy shot for KK McCaslin. Chapman would answer back with a penalty shot from Brooke Martini, firing it right past the goalie. A quick goal here from the Redlands' Stephanie Garrett would increase the lead to 6 goals, a deep hole to which Chapman could not get out of. After a strong defensive effort, Chapman out for most of the second half, Allison Camp would find the back of the net to notch Chapman's final goal. But the Redlands wasn't finished, as Shannon Sunnergreen would make a great play in the middle of the key to score the final goal of the game. The final in this one, Redlands 17, Chapman 8. Chapman News reporter Dan Steele was at the game.
Thanks, Renee. Yeah, tough loss here for the Panthers tonight. After scoring 6 goals in the first half, they were held to just 2 in the second, leading to a 17-8 loss against Redlands. I had a chance to catch up with the head coach after the game.
We made a few errors that, again, we had control of, and then there were also a few calls that I didn't necessarily agree with, and the combination of those two things really swung momentum the other way. And Redlands is a quality team. It's hard to dig out of a hole against a really good team when you're also, playing against the officials a little bit as well.
And it looks like it does it for sports. Coming up is entertainment with Cristina Hasenohrl. What do we got, Christina?
Thanks, Renee. Universal Studios Hollywood expands their franchise with an adorable new addition. You're watching Chapman News, Orange County's news leader.
Yeah, I'm out at Brooklyn. Now I'm down in Tribeca, right next to De Niro. But I'll be hood forever. I'm the new Sinatra. And since I made it here, I can make it anywhere. Yeah, they love me everywhere. I used to cop in Harlem. All of my Dominicanos right there up on Broadway. Brought me back to that McDonald's. Took it to my stash spot, 560 State Street. Catch me in the kitchen like a Simmons whipping pastry. Cruising down A Street, off-white Lexus. Driving so slow, but BK is from Texas. Me, I'm out that Bed-Stuy, home of that boy Biggie. Now I live on Billboard, and I brought my boys with me. Say what up to Tata, still sipping my ties. Sitting courtside, Knicks and Nets give me high five. I be spiked out, I could trip.
I'm Harry Smith.
I'm Michael Sears. Name's John Duber.
My name is Anthony Filiacci.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
You're watching.
And you're watching Chapman News.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm Melissa Cano.
And I'm Monica Petruzzelli. Melissa, personally, I love the Despicable Me movies, and I heard that there's a new ride.
Yeah, let's go to Christina. She'll tell us all about it.
Thanks, Melissa. I'll have all the exciting details on the new Minion ride in a moment. But first, a great talent has been lost in the literary community. Renowned Colombian author Gabriel Garcia Marquez passed away at the age of 87 in Mexico City yesterday. Marquez is considered one of the most famous and most talented Spanish-language authors in history, and his books have sold in the tens of millions worldwide. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1982 for his epic novel 100 Years of Solitude. His other prominent works include Love in the Time of Cholera and Autumn of the Patriarch. He will be missed. But now to answer Melissa's earlier question, it looks like the mouse may have some real competition. Universal Studios Hollywood just unveiled their newest 3D attraction, Minion Mayhem, inspired by the very popular Minions from Universal's Despicable Me franchise. The ride begins in Gru's home, where guests are invited to become actual Minions. Now, obviously, things don't go quite as planned, and the riders are sent on a hilarious 3D trip through Gru's supervillain laboratory. After the ride, guests are then invited to join a Minion-themed dance party. Minion Mayhem is only the first in a series of changes planned for the park. Universal Studios Hollywood also announced recently that the opening of Harry Potter World on the West Coast will take place in 2016. And as a Harry Potter nerd myself, I know I'm really excited for that. But without a doubt, the biggest event this weekend is Easter. To celebrate, the Irvine Railroad at Irvine Regional Park has been hosting an Easter egg extravaganza all week, including today and tomorrow. The event is open to all and features Easter egg hunts, carnival booths, face painting, and other activities. Families can even get a picture with the Easter Bunny. Entrance to the event is free, but most activities cost 1 to 2 tickets, which are available for $5 each. The event is open from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m., but it is not open Easter Sunday. The extravaganza sounds like such a fun event to get people in the mood for Easter. Now it's a tradition for us Hasenohrls to go to Easter brunch, so I am super excited, but I'm sure you guys have plans too. What's going on with you two for Easter?
I'm actually just really excited to spend Easter with my mom this weekend.
And I'm excited to spend it with my family too. And that's all we have for you today. Thanks for tuning into Chapman News. I'm Monica Petruzzelli.
And I'm Melissa Cano. We hope to see you next Friday at noon. Have a great weekend.